Welcome back to Whiskey with E. I'm Eric. Now tonight we are actually doing a whiskey with the E. We are doing a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey called Old Virginia, which is maybe not from Virginia, Old Virginia. Maybe it's a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey that is aged 6 years but was maybe bottled in France from American bourbon. Alright, I am so confused, and yes, you guys should be too. But, from what I gathered, I think it's just, let's just say, someone has sourced some Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. I'm assuming it's going to be like a Jim Beam or something, and then they bottled it in France. So, bottled by, there was a name somewhere. Hold on, what was his name? By La Martin Case. I believe they acquired a lot of things, you know, Cuddy Sark and all these, and I'm trying to remember all the things they've acquired, but Label 5, they can do a lot of scotches, so pretty much this is sold probably predominantly maybe in France, maybe it's known more in France, but here you may able to find it in your BWS's, maybe your Dan Murphy's. But you know what, I'm going to have a little read for you, is what it says here on the side. So, Old Virginia Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey is patiently aged for over 6 years in virgin white oak barrels. From this long aging process emanate an authentic bourbon whiskey with notes of wood and vanilla alongside a lingering smooth finish. Right, it's only bottled at 40%, but I appreciate that, because even Jim Beam here in Australia is 37%, so this retailing for roughly $48 now here in 2024. Oh, you know, it's the budget side, but here, let's read the other side. Old Virginia is a straight bourbon whiskey elaborated in the heart of Kentucky under the supervision of the United States federal government. Made from the best grains, the mash is fermented and distilled in respect of Kentucky tradition. There you go. Alrighties, imported by Pinnacle Drinks, rah rah rah. Alright, let's just pour some up. Here we go. We're just going to use this dirty glass. Yeah, it's dirty, alright. But it's going to have the notes still in there from the night before. Alright, let's see. The colour is really light. You can tell it's kind of thin, but anyways, let's judge it for what it is. It's under $50. Here we go. Honestly, it's not like jumping out like even a Wild Turkey level. You know, you're getting, you know, the Wild Turkey, you're getting that more baking spices and more caramels jumping out. This just noses a little bit lighter, like a budget style bourbon, you know, like a Jim Beam white label or something. But better, maybe. I'll have to get a Jim Beam white label and compare, but at the moment, it's sweet. There's oaky notes there. I mean, you're getting like a, I don't know if it's like an apricot-y kind of banana-y note or something. But I'm not saying it's complex, I'm just saying it's 40% and I've had worse. Yeah, nose is actually sweet, to be honest, but it just doesn't jump out creamy like what you expect from a Wild Turkey product. I am just a Wild Turkey fan, but you know, alright, if I'm gonna have to do a wild guess, it could be a Jim Beam product, but I don't know, it kind of noses a little sweet. I don't know, like a citrus kind of notes jumping out. It is interesting. Anyways, let's have a little taste. Who's tried it? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Here we go. Cheers, everyone. I mean, there's a little bit of an alcoholic bite tang there, but I'm just trying to picture this. Like, I'm picturing it could be so much better if it wasn't watered down to 40%. Now, in the past, I've tried the Old Virginia 12 year. I believe that at least, you know, you're getting more of that oak component. This, yes, this is a grade higher than what I feel a Jim Beam is. So you're getting more complex notes, which could possibly blend in with some Coke if that's your jam. But if you just wanted to taste it how it is, it's going down alright. It's just not that silky smooth kind of, you know, you might get impressions if it's a little thin being at 80 proof, but you know, that was just the first sip, so let's have another one. Cheers everyone. Well, it is only $48. It's just like a bitter wood note that's jumping out, isn't it? I'm not going to say it's nutty. Yes, it is very interesting, guys. Let's just say, I just feel that it's, I don't know, you're getting a lot of woody, oaky notes. I just wouldn't mind it being a little bit more sweet, but you know what, for what it is, $48, at least it's 40%. You know, considering here in Australia, they consider 37% things bourbon, even though in the US it wouldn't be considered bourbon. So, that being said, it beats a Jim Beam by proof level and probably by price bracket. But I definitely don't think this would beat the Blanton's 80 proof or anything like that. But we are definitely going to try it with some Coke. I have some frozen Coke as well, so, but before we do, I'm going to have another little sip. The more you sip this, the more acclimated you get to it. But there is just this bitter kind of oaky vibe, you know. You just want it to be a little bit more sweet, or you just want it to have a little bit more. But to be honest, for what it is, I think it's beating a lot of things at 40%, you know. Like, I'm going off memory here, but maybe this could be better than the Buffalo Trace at 40%, you know. Let me know in the comments what you think. This could even be better than the Evan Williams at 40% here in Australia. But this is just all speculation. This is just my opinion right now because I'm just going off memory. But the more I'm nosing this, it's like it's like a sweet citrus kind of apricot-y note that jumps out. But you just want it to have more depth. But I understand it's been proofed down to 40%. So yeah, you're just picking up pretty much the reminiscence of what maybe a good bourbon would be like if it was lowered percent, you know. It makes you want to do a science experiment. Like if you got some Bookers or something that is higher strength and you proofed it down to 40%, would that be a really good 40% 80 proof bourbon that beats other 80 proof bourbons like this? Or, you know, considering most Bookers is aged 6 to 7 years. But this is just so watered down right now, guys. Alrighties. Well, let's have another sip, and we will mix some up with some Coke and see how it goes. Cheers, everyone. Drink responsibly. The more you have this, the more you get acclimated to it. I think this would be a good maybe thing to try with a cigar. Maybe I will. There you go. Looks like we're going to have a cigar and try to see how this pairs up together. But before we do, we will pour some up, and then let's grab some of this Coke. Here we go. Oop. Alright. Oop. There we go. Alright. We have some Coca-Cola. A little bit frozen like a Slurpee. There we go. Now we're just going to splash them in there. Boom, look at that. Alright. So, bourbon and Coke. For the Jim Beam lovers out there, for everyone that just wants to pick up something that's cheaper to mix with Coke, let's see how it pairs up. Sorry for the wobble. Cheers, everyone. Honestly, like, could you be able to pick out the difference? Like, oh yes, this is Jim Beam and Coke, or, you know, I mean, only some things you mix with some quality bourbon, even though you're like, I shouldn't mix Coke with this, but, you know, you might try, and then you're like, well, this is the best tasting bourbon and Coke I've had in my life. But that being said, this just tastes like a good bourbon and Coke. I mean, there's nothing bad about this. The Coke brought out the sweetness, and it must tame down all those kind of oaky bitter notes or something. Gave it some sweetness. Maybe that was their plan, for people to buy it to mix with Coke. So it works well. There you go. Cheers, everyone. Now keep in mind, Jim Beam is probably like 4 years. So at least they have a 6-year-old age statement. I don't know. There you go. There you go. Old Virginia, 6-year age stated product. Grew up in Kentucky and was bottled and yeah, there you go. Bottled and released to us from France. And I'm presenting it to you in Australia. And it says product of USA. Imported. Old Virginia. What? Product of USA. Oh my goodness. There you go. There is a lot of confusion in this, but bottom line is, it is a bourbon. They must have sourced it. They bottled it in France. There you go. Brand, Old Virginia. I don't think it's from Virginia. It's from Kentucky. There you go. Mixes well with Coke. You can drink it neat. I'm sure you could drink it with an ice cube, but all I'm saying is, don't expect too much. It is a under $50 pour with an age statement that is only 80 proof. I mean, a Wild Turkey 101 nowadays goes for like $70, guys. Now that would be like the base rate of, you're still getting somewhat of a quality bourbon. So, you know, but if you were not thinking about that too much and you just wanted to mix something with Coke, get a bottle that isn't going to be too watery, you know, and you're willing to pay that $48 mark, then this is a good one. There you go. Alright, let's finish this, and much love to you all. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you've tried this. Do you enjoy some bourbon? Mixing it with Coke from time to time. It is refreshing. There you go. But you know what? I am going to try this with a cigar and see how it pairs, because it is a low proof bourbon, so it's a good thing to session on when you're enjoying a cigar, so you don't get too sloppy drinking some high proof bourbons, you know what I mean? So there you go. Anyways, cheers everyone. Let's see how this goes. Down, down, down. Honestly, better than a Woody. That's better than a Jim Beam and Coke in a can. Could that be better than a Jack Daniels and Coke? Jack Daniels is also 40%. I mean, is it the same price as this? I can't remember how much a bottle of, I know, Tennessee whiskey, bourbon. No, not all bourbon is Tennessee whiskey, not all no, I forget what the quote is. Not all bourbon is Tennessee whiskey, but all Tennessee whiskey is bourbon. Write down that comment. Let me know what that quote is. But much love to you all. Drink responsibly. You are all loved. You are all appreciated. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have tried Old Virginia 6-year age-stated product, etc., etc. France bottled. That. You know the drill. Hit that like button, and I'm gonna catch you all next time. Tune back soon. I think I'm gonna pair this with something I haven't tried before, so we're gonna light up something to enjoy with this what's left. I went and shared this with someone, so that's why there's not too much left. He enjoys it. He likes to mix his bourbons with Coke, so you know that's why I thought, you know what, we'll see how he enjoys this. If he enjoys it, then there you go. It's a good mixer. Not saying it's not a good sipper as well, so we're gonna see if it is a good sipper with a cigar. Alright, I'm just gonna be repeating myself. Alright, tune back in. Tune back in again soon, guys. Alright, I'll talk to you all later. Later, all.